Hey guys, Troy Francis here. So, 5 tips for women who are looking to keep hold of a high value man. All right, so look, in the dating marketplace, men and women have problems, okay? Guys will often talk very vocally online about the problems that they suffer, and they are well documented. There is a huge rise in male virginity amongst the younger generation. Guys are finding it harder to get laid. They're finding hookup culture hard unless you're in the top 20% of dudes. A lot of guys aren't getting any action. So we know all of that stuff. It's well documented, but women have their own struggles as well. For women, it's not as hard for the most part to get some action, to get some attention in the dating marketplace. That side of things can be pretty straightforward. What is more difficult though for a woman is to hold on to that guy that she wants to hold on to, hold on to that quote unquote high value man. What I've got here is a package of 5 tips in no particular order for what you ladies need to do in order to hold on to a high value dude. Without further ado, number 1, get off social media. All right, get off social media. This may seem to be a little bit controversial because a lot of women will say, well, I don't want to be off social media. Why shouldn't I be on there? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. It's not a problem. I get it. I understand that you want to be on Instagram. I understand that you want to be on Facebook or whatever. I would suggest though, or recommend that if you want to keep the high value guy that you're with, you moderate your presence on there, okay? And you keep it classy and you keep it ladylike. And the reason for that is that whatever people say, we all know deep down that for the most part, social media is a means by which we get attention from others, okay? And we get those dopamine hits from attention from others. And for women, attention is like a drug. Women love attention, okay? They love attention from men, certainly from men that they are attracted to or they find high value. So if you're putting yourself all over Instagram, and particularly if you are posting sexy pictures or suggestive pictures of one kind or another, then effectively what you are doing is advertising yourself to other guys. Now, that may not be a conscious thing, of course, and I'm sure many women will say, well, no, I've got an Instagram account. What's the problem with that? It may not be a conscious decision that that's what you're doing, but the de facto outcome of that is what you're doing. And we all know that Instagram is effectively now a dating app. It's full of dudes, many of them very thirsty, hopeless losers, but not all of them. Some of them pretty high value and well connected and ripped and shredded and wealthy and all the rest of it, who are looking to hook up. And you're only a DM away in most cases from one of these guys. So if you want to be serious with this high value dude in your life, then you don't want him to think or to see that you are, effectively putting yourself out there on an online platform. I would think very seriously about your social media usage, and I would either curtail it entirely or at least, as I say, moderate it. So, maybe you've got a very simple profile, you've got a few pictures up there, or maybe you're more focused on, say, landscape photos or travel photos or food photos or something like that, rather than it being a parading of your flesh on the internet. Because, we have to look at this from a demand and supply perspective, okay? And I'm not saying that inherently there's anything wrong with that, but what I am saying is the guy who has options, because after all, the high value man is by definition the man who has options in the dating marketplace. Is he going to be cool with his girlfriend or his wife exhibiting those behaviors? Probably not, because he could get somebody else who doesn't do those things. So something to think about: moderate social media or get off social media entirely. Number 2, drop bratty behavior. Talked about this in another video. Bratty behavior, the kind of behavior that maybe you've got away with in the past. You've been able to tie men around your little finger. You've been able to act up in public spaces. You've been able to be quite childish and quite provocative. And you probably know that you're being childish and provocative. You just didn't really care because it's fun and whatever, live for the moment and all the rest of it. You need to knock that behavior on the head if you're with a guy that you want to stick with or you want him to stick with you. Because again, high value guy, he's got responsibilities, he's got things on his mind, he's probably got important engagements to go to, people to deal with, business deals to do, etc. The last thing he wants is some volatile woman in his life who's acting up, who's starting arguments in public, who's, making stupid requests at stupid times and just being a pain, okay? He wants a degree of serenity in his personal life. So think about that, okay? Think about the way you're behaving when you're chilling with this guy, when you're with this guy socially, and moderate. Again, be classy, be ladylike. These things go a long way. They really, really do. As I said, it's about demand and supply. Because the guy that you're going for, okay, if this is a high value man, in inverted commas, he is somebody with optimum potential options out there in dating or in the sexual marketplace. Again, why does he need to stay with you if he could get anybody else? It's pretty straightforward, but it does need to be restated. The next one, number 3, be prepared to turn a blind eye. Be prepared to turn a blind eye. This one is a little bit contentious, I admit. Not everyone's gonna like it, but the reality is the high value guy has options. And it might be that on occasion, he chooses to exercise those options in the sexual marketplace with other women. Now, if you are his main woman and he loves you, he has made that commitment to you, that in itself need not be a deal breaker. That in itself need not be a deal breaker unless you make it one. Because for him, remember, for guys, sex in the main, we're able to separate out sex and emotion to a greater extent than women generally are. I'm not saying that women can't do it in all circumstances, but I'm saying just generally speaking as an overarching thing. So if he strays on occasion, or maybe once or twice, but he's genuinely high value in however you want to characterize that, in whatever terms you've set for high value, and he's exercised those options outside the relationship, but you are still at the top of the tree, there's no danger of you being supplanted by someone else, then is it really worth exploding the relationship for that reason? Okay, now the answer to that is entirely yours. It's in your hands. You have to think about that. But recognize that guys who are in high demand they're guys, right? They're gonna sometimes want to act out on the options that they have. It doesn't mean, though, that he loves you less. It doesn't mean that he would remove his provisioning from you. It doesn't mean that you will no longer be at the top of the hierarchy, okay? It just means that maybe he had a little bit of release elsewhere. So if you want to hang on to that guy, then you've got to at least consider the possibility of turning a blind eye. Again, it's your decision. You can do what you want. I'm just saying how it is. If you're dealing with dudes of that caliber, then it might be that you need to make an allowance here. Number 4, be great in bed. Pretty straightforward. I mean, obviously, sex is not the only thing in a relationship, but it is a big part of a relationship, okay? If a guy, I've always said relationships are very difficult. So really, why actually be in one unless you actually genuinely like the person with whom you're in it with, all right? And you genuinely want to be with them. And of course, that includes sexuality, and sexuality is a big part of that. A guy wants to be in a relationship with somebody that he is sexually attracted to, is in good shape and remains in good shape, okay, who looks great, and with whom there is great sexual compatibility, and with whom he has great sex, and also with whom he gets on well with and is able to spend time with and feel relaxed with and enjoy serenity and peace with, okay? Those really are the main things. All right? So sex is a big part of that. It's not the only part, but, in the end, again, this notional dude, he's super high value. He could get anybody. So why is he going to stay with you? The sex has got to be pretty damn good. And the sex has got to be fairly regular as well. I mean, I'm not going to be prescriptive about this, but use your imagination, okay? This needs to be a central part of the relationship. So attend to that. And the final one, number 5, be supportive, but don't ask too many questions. Be supportive, but don't ask too many questions. Is that contentious? I don't know. I mean, I think that it's great to have a woman who is there, who is on your team, okay? And I'm talking now about the wider world of work and business and everything else that a guy needs to attend to. I think it's great to have that woman who's there. She's on your team. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, that she is your ride or die. You know that she is there for you, okay? Unquestioningly, unwaveringly. However, do you need to go into all the minutiae of your business, of the things that you're doing, the deals that you're doing, the transactions that you are completing at the moment? No, I don't think you do. And I don't think it's desirable that you do, to be honest. I think that there should be some separation between the man and his business and his mission and whatever he's doing out there in the world and his personal relationship with the woman, okay? I think the things should be separate. I don't think there's much profit in intermingling them. The woman doesn't need to know all of the details, just as the guy doesn't need to know all the minutiae of, the woman's daily life either. I mean, look, this is about being there for one another on a somewhat higher plane. The boring details of what I do for work, or, you know, the deals that I'm involved with or whatever, are separate to my relationship with the woman, okay? And in my view, that's how it should be. And I don't think that there's really much value in, as a woman, trying to really drill down into all the details and to know everything. It's sort of like, look, we're engaging here on this level, okay? The other stuff is happening over here. Why get the two things intermingled? Why get the two things mixed up? So those are the 5 tips. Okay, I'll go through them again. Number 1, get off social media. Number 2, cut off or eliminate bratty, unnecessary, attention-seeking behavior, particularly in pub, well, everywhere really, but particularly in public. Number 3, be prepared to turn a blind eye. Number 4, be great in bed. And number 5, be supportive, but don't ask too many questions. Hope you liked the video. Hope you enjoyed this, got something from it. Please give me a like. Please subscribe to the channel, put a comment below, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.